first off, we have Amazing Spider-Man F2. Just wasn't doing it for me. I mean, the fight scenes were kind of bland. They were dry. The costume was terrible. I can already tell y'all right now. Tobey Maguire's costume is the best. Alright. I do like all the upgraded gadgets on Tom Holland's costume. I did like that. But as far as the costume itself, nah. I wasn't feeling it. I say Tobey Maguire actually looks like, a Spider-Man. Looks like a real spider, whereas the other ones are kind of like, eh, you know. Alright, next up we have all I can say is that all the Andrew Garfield ones is going into the F2. You know. Now, don't get me wrong. Tom, he's definitely good there at number 2. But we're just going to keep it going with Andrew Garfield. Now, Andrew Garfield is a very good actor. He's just a horrible Spider-Man. So, all of his Spider-Man movies are in the F tier. Alright, now we go on to Tom Holland. Now, if I could say, I'd say that The Homecoming I'll put this movie right here. That was pretty good. Not gonna lie, that was good. But not as good as the ones coming above, This one was alright. I'll put this movie with, I think this is the second one, of Tom Holland. I'll put this one in the D tier. Wasn't bad. All of it wasn't bad. It's just not number 1 or high ranking for me, Alright. So next up have the other one, Spider-Man. And this is another Tom Holland movie. I put this one, this was actually pretty decent. I put that one in the C tier. I love the fact that, they portrayed, gave it Stan Lee's vision of, a young boy actually becoming Spider-Man instead of having to, people who were in their 20s, right? Trying to, even though, like, he looked like a little boy becoming Spider-Man, Whereas the other two were like grown men, you could see, becoming Spider-Man. So I did like how they made it like into the comic books, and I really appreciate that Stan Lee, rest in peace, they're fulfilling his vision. They're, of all the movies that he made from comic books, and they're bringing them to life. So I do like that, and I love that. That's very good. My next up, so I'll say for the B tier, we'll have Spider-Man 3. This was good. Got to see the black symbiote, you know. I really, really wanted them to come out with a fourth one. I really wanted them to come out with a fourth one in the to- Tobey Maguire series. They said it was in development, but then it got canceled because of, I guess creative differences, some things going on between actors, producers. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I definitely was disappointed that there wasn't going to be a fourth one. Now, the fourth one, they said they were going to be having Spider-Man and then Venom teaming up together to take down Carnage. That would have been dope. That would have been amazing. I would have loved that. I would have loved that. And unfortunately, we never had the opportunity to get it. Ah, what a shame. What a shame. Because that would have been golden. I would have loved that, man. I would have loved that. Instead, we only got a PlayStation 1 video game out of it, which, by the way, is still top tier in my book. The video game version for PlayStation 1. All the Spider-Man fans know what I'm talking about. Is that one with Venom, the one with the Carnage turning into Doc Ock, Doc Ock and Carnage like coming together, and becoming like a symbiote Doc Ock, but an all-time classic, for the PlayStation 1. I loved it. It was great. So, yeah. Well, all right. So we got the B tier, which is Spider-Man 3, Spider-Man versus Venom, where he actually turns into Venom, a symbiote, and he has these incredible uh, powers. The only thing is that it came with a cost. Every time you would like bang a bell or uh, whistle or any loud noise that you made, that's the only like downfall and um, the only thing that was wrong about the symbiote is that you weren't able to be yourself, so you had all these powers, but loud noises, bells was the symbiote's kryptonite. So you weren't really able to, fight fight a good fight because the symbiote had the weakness of, you know, loud noises, bells and all that. So, all right, but my next one, the classic Spider-Man. Awesome, definitely amazing, you know. I was this began my childhood. This was came out in what 2000. This came out in 2002. So definitely a big part of my childhood, being able to see the all-time classic. I've seen this movie at least probably 1,000 times. So yeah, it's worthy of being in the number two spot because it just didn't have enough to be number one. Whereas, of course, it's a classic. Usually, when you think about the OGs and the originals, there's nothing that can outbeat it. But there are some sequels out there, and sequels that I like, as far as, the Spider-Mans and the Jurassic Worlds, Jurassic Parks, and things like that, where the sequels are actually better than the original. Like in Jurassic Park, the sequel for Jurassic Park, the sequel was Jurassic Park 2. It was better than Jurassic Park 1. Jurassic Park 3 was better than Jurassic Park 2 and Jurassic Park 1. So, you just have some of those times where the sequels are actually better than the originals, but most times You don't. You won't see that, and you won't see that at all. A lot of times you just keep the classics, and you leave them alone because the sequels will tarnish the whole franchise. But for me, Jurassic Park didn't do that. And definitely this one, Spider Man, it didn't do it either. So, but yep. But last but not least, all time, the S tier, best Spider Man that I've seen. Me being a Spider Man fan, boom, Spider Man 2. Reason being, I just loved everything. I loved the whole Mary Jane. By the way, Mary Jane was my first celeb crush when I was a little kid. She was the first one. So it was the upside down kiss that did it for me. Made me fall in love with her. So she was my first ever crush, Kristen Dunst, you know. And yeah, I was, in love with her ever since. I felt like I was Spider Man. You couldn't tell me that I wasn't Spider Man when I was younger. You couldn't tell me that. I was Spider Man, I was like getting all the gadgets. I was spraying the little wet stuff on the walls, which by the way I had to clean up. And when we had like a blackout, right? We had a hurricane. I think it was Hurricane Isabel, and where everything was dark and we had to put like candles up. So I was like, I'm gonna save everyone in the house. So I put on my Spider-Man uniform and my Spider-Man outfit, and I ended up pretending to just save the people in the house and everything like that. You couldn't tell me. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Spider-Man. You couldn't tell me that at all. I was that. So I felt like Mary Jane was my woman. I felt like anything that Tobey Maguire could do, I felt like I could do better. I felt like I was the original black Spider-Man, So I took it there. I took it there and I took it for everyone to see. So, and I was taking my uniform everywhere, I had it. I was wearing it for the last 7, maybe 8 Halloweens. I just had on my Spider-Man uniform, and I said, I'm gonna save everyone. I'm gonna save the world. I haven't thought about going off of rooftops and doing tricks and seeing if I can spin a web. You couldn't tell me I wasn't him. I was him. So yeah. So this is the list of movies. Let me know if you agree, you disagree, or you have your top ranked Spider-Man movies for yourself. What's what's your favorite Spider-Man movie? What's not? Tell me your list. Make a list for yourself, and share it. Share it with everyone. But this is mine. I got all the Andrew Garfield ones in the F tier. I got the Tom Holland ones, the Homecoming, the second one, the third. I got all those in the C, D, E tier. Then I got my top tier because I love Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man, of all time. So I got Spider-Man 3, B tier. Spider-Man, the original, in the A tier. And I got Spider-Man 2, best Spider-Man of all time. At number 1, it was the fight. It was the fight scenes. Fighting Doc Ock. It was the whole chemistry between Mary Jane and Peter Parker. Them hating each other. She hating him, and getting married to someone else. That whole little thing where he says he didn't love her, but he truly loved her because he didn't want his enemies to, find her and do some things to her. So I was, all around it was great. Harry, Harry not liking Peter because he didn't know that he was Spider-Man and all that. So the whole thing was just planned out very, very nicely. I loved it. So yeah, that's my tears. And let me know if you guys have your own set of tears. If you guys agree with me and mine, or you just yeah, let me know which. If you're a true Spider-Man fan, just let me know what type of movies you found best and things like that. So, but all right, y'all. Without further ado, we're gonna end it right here. And appreciate y'all for being here with me while I do this and give you my take on all the Spider-Man movies, because Spider-Man is my second favorite franchise. I grew up loving it. I grew up loving Spider-Man, and like I said, I thought I was Spider-Man myself. You couldn't tell me I wasn't Spider-Man. I had all the web gadgets and, fluid from the webs to, pretend like I was slinging from roof to roof, doing acrobatics and everything like that. I was doing like front flips off the steps, you know, doing like Spider-Man like things, as a young kid. This was it. This was probably one of the best parts of my childhood, playing Spider-Man video games, being Spider-Man, and also like being, pretending to be the real Spider-Man, and loving the movies. Every time a movie came out, every time a Spider-Man movie came out, I would always watch it. I've seen every single one, and it was lit. It was great to see every single one, to see all the different franchises. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right, well, without further ado, y'all, I'm gonna call it right here.